लीजर, व्हाट डू यू मीन बाय लीजर? लीजर का मतलब क्या है? लीजर मतलब फ्री टाइम। लीजर मीन्स फ्री टाइम। जब कोई इंसान कुछ भी काम नहीं करता है, खाली बैठा रहता है, तो उसे कहते हैं फ्री टाइम, कि खाली बैठे हैं। दैट इज कॉल्ड लीजर। और ये टाइम होता है जब हम अपने आप को बिल्कुल फ्री महसूस करते हैं और हर कोई चीज ऐसी कर सकते हैं जिससे हमें खुशी मिलती हो। दैट वी become happy due to that. The poet through this poem have made us realize that how today we are leading a life which is full of cares and worries, and in the stressful life we avoid the nature which is soothing. We don't have any free time to observe the beautiful nature around us and feel the magical relaxing therapy which nature provides to us. This poem tells us various small things that we miss out in our day-to-day life and thereby miss the real charm of life. We normally see people visiting hill stations during weekends. Why do they go there? They go there so that they get a break from their daily busy routine and feel relaxed among the natural environment. So this is what we are going to learn in leisure today, what the poet is trying to tell us. So let's start. What is this life if full of care? We have no time to stand and stare. Now here care means worries or the stress. During our life, in our life, daily work, when we are doing our daily work, daily routine work, there are many worries. For a child, there are worries such as our homework is remaining, we have to do the homework, and we have to prepare ourselves for the examinations, we have to complete the books, checking is there, submit the project. Many things are there for us at home and outside as a child. As an elderly people, we have our office works. As a teacher, I have my school work. As a mother, household work. As a father, office work. Many works are there. Many tensions are there day to day life. So what is this life if full of care? So if throughout the life, if we are having this tension, stress, then what is this life? It's of no good. We have no time to stand and stare. And in this life, this stressful life, we don't have time to stand and stare. That means we don't have time to relax, to feel relaxed. No time to stand beneath the boughs. Boughs over here means the branches of the tree. In the poem itself, you can see the boy over here is standing under a tree, under the branch of a tree. You can see the branch. No time to stand beneath the boughs and stare as long as sheep or cows. You must have seen many a times that sheep or cows, they normally stand under the trees and they keep staring at one place. They stand, they do nothing, and they keep staring at particular thing. So we don't have that time so that we can stand relaxed under the tree and stare as long as we want, watch any beautiful thing around us, or watch birds flying here and there, or watch the sky, the sun moving, the clouds moving, or feel the wind. So we don't have that much time so that we can stare like sheep or cows. No time to see when woods we pass, when squirrels hide their nuts in grass. So this is a very simple thing which the poet over here is trying to say, that whenever we travel through a particular place, we should observe around us. The meaning of this is, no time to see when woods we pass, where squirrels hide their nuts in grass. So meaning of these two lines is basically whenever we pass through a wood, that is a forest. Now woods over here means the forest. So whenever we pass through a forest, we don't have even this much time to see that the squirrels are hiding their nuts in the grass. So we don't even see them where they are hiding. The squirrels which are hiding the nuts in the grass, we don't even have that much time to see that where the squirrels are hiding their nuts. So the poet simply tries to tell us that whenever we travel, we should observe around us. We should see around us Nowadays, this is a common thing I have seen among all the people. Only few, I think, we can count on fingers are the people who actually observe outside. But I normally see that there are people, maybe children or maybe elder, whoever they are, whenever they travel, they are simply sitting either in their mobile phones or sleeping or playing games or something. They do not observe outside what is happening around, what kind of roads are there, what kind of shops are there, what kinds of sceneries, beauties are there, animals, people, the culture. They don't have time to watch all these things. So this poem has really a very deep meaning in it. No time to see in broad daylight, streams full of stars like skies at night. Now these two lines, the beauty of nature, the poet over here is trying to tell us the beauty of nature. We don't have time to watch this beauty of nature even in broad daylight. So in the night, how the sky is full of stars, in the same way in the daytime when the rivers or streams flow, it shines, it sparkles in the daylight, in the sun's light. It sparkles brightly like stars in the sky at night. So we don't have time to see these stars also. No time to turn at beauty's glance and watch her feet how they can dance. That means over here the poet tells us that we don't even have time to turn at beauty's glance. That means we don't even have that much time to see around us the beautiful people. And how here the poet is trying to say beauty's glance means a beautiful girl, young girl. So we don't have time to even give a look. Glance means to give a look. We don't have time even to give a look to a beautiful young girl and watch her feet how they can dance. That means if the girl is dancing, we don't even watch her feet. Now here this is a figure of speech, and watch her feet how they can dance. Synecdoche. Synecdoche is a figure of speech where a part is used for the whole. Synecdoche. So here feet is used for the whole human body or the whole girl, for the whole person. Here only a part of the body is used, that is the feet. So that is why it is synecdoche. So no time to turn at beauty's glance and watch her feet how they can dance. We don't have time to see the beauty of a girl, and neither we have time to see how beautifully she dances. That means we don't have time to see around us that there are many beautiful people around us, and we don't have time for that. No time to wait till her mouth can enrich that smile her eyes began. So here it's a very deep meaning. Again it says that the people nowadays don't have time to wait that suppose if a bud is there on a plant, on a flower plant, a bud has come and the bud is about to bloom into a flower, but we don't have that much of time to see whether the bud has come. We just see the bud and we move away. We don't have the time to see how the bud is blooming into a beautiful flower. That is how the nature is smiling all around us, and we don't have time to see that nature all around us. So we don't have time till her mouth can enrich that smile her eyes began. That means normally it is said that this from the eyes we can make out whether a person is smiling or no. So from the eyes the smile reaches the face, lips, from the eyes. So we don't have even this much time that smile we can see from her eyes to her face. A poor life this is if full of care. So this is really a very poor life if it is full of care. We have no time to stand and stare, and actually we don't have time to stand and stare. So such kind of a life is really very poor, very pitiful life where we cannot enjoy the real beauty around us, and we run away to other hill stations or to some other places to relax. If we enjoy our beauty here only at the workplace, we never need to go anywhere. So while work we need to enjoy ourselves, we need to give time to ourselves. हमें अपने आप को भी टाइम देना उतना ही जरूरी है, तो ये बहुत जरूरी है क्योंकि अगर हम अपने आप को टाइम नहीं देंगे तो हम टाइम से पहले बूढ़े हो जाएंगे. सो टू रिमेन यंग थ्रू आउट वी शुड ऑलवेज keep a relation with the nature, keep a connect with the nature. So this is where the poem ends, the explanation ends. Now I shall be providing you with all the question and answers. So here we go with the question answers. Okay, the first question: enlist the beautiful things in nature that we overlook. We fail to see the beautiful woods around us. We fail to see the sheep and cows grazing out in the open. We fail to see the trees with their branches and leaves and the squirrels hiding their nuts in grass. We fail to see the streams full of stars appearing to be like the sky at night. In short, we ignore nature's beauty since we are so full of cares and worries. There are certain poetic devices over here. What is the rhyme scheme of the poem? What is such a rhyme scheme called? The rhyme scheme is AA, BB, CC, DD, EE, FF, GG. And such a rhyme scheme is called couplets. Pick out 3 pairs of rhyming words: care, stare, bows, cows, pass, grass. Name and explain the figures of speech. And stare as long as sheep and cows. It is simile. The long stare is compared to the stare of sheep and cows. And watch her feet, how they can dance. Synecdoche. Part for the whole. Feet stands for the whole person. Streams full of stars like skies at night. Alliteration. Sound of letter S is repeated for poetic effect. What does the poet want us to stare at and gain from it? The poet wants us to stand and stare at nature all around us. He wants us to look at the woods we pass and the trees and plants in the woods. He wants us to look at the animals in the woods and learn from them about hiding their food. He wants us to look up at the sky and admire its beauty. We can gain so much of information from nature around us, but we have no time to spare. Now these are workshop questions. Say where. Do the cows and sheep stand? They stand beneath the boughs of trees. So where do squirrels store their food? They store their food in grass. Where do stars shine in the daytime? They shine in streams full of water. Where does Beauty's smile begin? Beauty's smile begin in her eyes. Think and answer in your own words. What could have inspired the poet to compose this poem? Do you think it relates to our present day life? Defend your choice. The poet must have seen people rushing about their duties from morning till dusk. The entire time they are about their daily course and have no time to relax and enjoy the beauty around them. This fact must have inspired the poet to write this poem. Yes, it very much relates to our present day situation. At least our forefathers had a little time to spare. In today's world, life is such a mad rush that we do not have even a few minutes to spare as leisure time. We just have to go on and on and on with our work. Which line proves that in our busy lives we do not even have a fraction of a second to enjoy nature's beauty? So, a poor life thus if full of care, we have no time to stand and stare. These two lines tell us about this thing. Beauty in stanza 5 to 6 can refer to a beautiful maiden as well as nature itself. Explain when and how nature dances and also smiles. Nature is forever dancing. The leaves of the trees move with the wind. The flowers sway and lift their heads. The breeze swirls things around us. Nature is not stationary. There is some movement or the other in the clouds and even in the sun and the moon and other heavenly bodies. When the sky is clear, there is no storm. Then nature smiles. Everything is peaceful, calm and beautiful. This shows that nature is smiling. Nature is happy. Hence, she smiles. Why does the poet call our life poor? Here, poor does not refer to not having money. Here, the word poor refers to not having leisure time. Our lives have no meaning. We cannot pursue other activities or our hobbies because we have no leisure time. The entire time we are rushing about our work and our duties. We have become morons in our life, hence the poet calls our life poor. You have learnt that when a human attribute is given to anything that is not a human being or it is spoken of as a person, the figure of speech used is called personification. So pick out two examples of personification from the poem. And watch her feet, how they can dance. So watch, this is a human attribute, human activity. And watch her feet, how they can dance. No time to wait till her mouth can enrich that smile her eyes begin. So we are talking about here about nature and therefore it is personification. Pick out from the poem two examples of each of the following figures of speech. So we want now alliteration, simile and metaphor. So for alliteration, we have no time to stand and stare. Streams full of stars like skies at night. Simile, streams full of stars like skies at night and stairs as long as sheep and cows. These figures of speech you can also go through my video of figures of speech and there you can understand all these figures of speech with ample examples. Metaphor, no time to turn at beauty's glance and watch her feet how they can dance. So these are the two examples of metaphor, simile and alliteration. The poet opens his poem with a question. Is the question asked to receive some answer? No. It is a question used to emphasize and stress upon the fact that modern man has no time to enrich his life from nature. Such a device used by poets falls under the figure of speech called interrogation or rhetorical question. Refer to the poem The Pilgrim and find examples of interrogation. In the poem The Pilgrim, examples of rhetorical question are: why waste your time in building here? Why build ye here at eventide? So these are the two questions used as rhetorical questions from the Pilgrim poem. Say where the images from nature given in the poem exist. Air, land or water. So beneath the boughs is land. Squirrel hide nuts in grass is again land. Streams in daytime is water. Star skies at night, air. Now paraphrase of the poem. The poet William Henry Davies has written the poem Leisure to show us how we do not have any time to spend enjoying the beauty of nature. Our lives are full of care, as a result of which we have no time to stand and look at nature around us. We have no time to stand beneath the branches and stare around like the sheep and cattle do. We have no time to see the squirrels hiding their nuts in the grass. We have no time to see the rippling streams appearing to have stars in them. We do not have any time to see beauty around us in nature. If our lives go on like this, then it means we are living poor lives. Now we shall start with the appreciation, where these are the points which we have to include: title, theme or central idea. So title and poet comes together, theme and central idea, then rhyming scheme, special features, figures of speech, favorite lines, and why I like or dislike the poem. So let's start. It's a paragraph format. The poem Leisure is a beautiful poem. This poem is written by the famous poet William Henry Davies. The poet wants us to realize that this life we are living is a poor life, since we are not giving ourselves time to look around us and enjoy the beauty of nature. Our lives have become monotonous. This is actually a sonnet. It is made up of 14 lines written in the form of couplets. The rhyme scheme is AA, BB, CC, DD, EE, FF, GG. The poet has made use of several figures of speech. He has used simile, metaphor, personification, alliteration, and rhetorical questions. We have no time to stand and stare, its alliteration. No time to turn at beauty's glance and watch her feet how they can dance, its personification. The poet has used beautiful imagery. He has spoken of animals out in the open to show us how free they are and how busy we are. He has questioned the readers through rhetorical questions to show us that we have no leisure time at all. We have become chronic workaholics. Every line in the poem is full of meaning and is very beautiful. I like the following lines. No time to wait till her mouth can enrich that smile her eyes began. Streams full of stars like skies at night. I like to read the poem because the poet has helped us to realize that our lives have become dull and poor, since we have no leisure time to glance around us and enjoy the beauty of nature. So here we end the chapter with the explanation as well as the question and answers. So we'll soon meet in our next video. Till then, stay safe, stay secure. Thank you.